welcome to Mind Bound by Gabe. Today we're going to be using Adobe Illustrator using a photograph to make a more graphic design image. These photos that I'm supplying or that I'm showing you are for personal use only, that you guys can just mess with. It's not for commercial use. I just chose random photos. Today we're going to do Hayley Williams from the band Paramore because she has a new album coming out soon, so I figured why not. Right now I have this photo open in Photoshop, and I'm going to edit it a little bit here just to make it a little bit easier for in Illustrator. And we're going to be using Pen Tool for all this. If you don't know Pen Tool, I made previous videos showing how to use Pen Tool to work up to this. So if you've been following along, great. If you haven't seen those videos, go back and check them out. And as always, like, comment, subscribe to my videos. I hope you like them. But let's get into this in Photoshop and start editing this photo to make it a little bit easier to work with in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm in Photoshop here, and first off I'm going to crop this down a little bit because I really don't want this whole arm in here. I'd rather just kind of zoom in a little more on what's going on in the photo. Just, I think it makes a better presentation to some degree. Plus, it's nice not to have to try to draw that whole arm out in Illustrator. So we're just going to zoom in here a little bit. So I'm cropping this in. And then to make this a little bit easier, you could do it in full color. Some people like to do it that way. I kind of like to switch it to black and gray or black and white, so that I can see the different tones and the colors and things a little easier. So go up here to image mode, and then grayscale. And it says, do you want to discard all the colors? Just hit yes, discard. And so this turns it into a black and white photo that you can see the values a little bit better, but even better is you go to image, adjustments, levels, and it brings up this little window here. And this slider here is your blacks, this is your grays, and this is your whites. So what I try to do is I try to pull the whites in a little bit, and I also try to pull the blacks in a little bit, so that I get those values to punch out a little bit more. So that's probably going to work for this. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to go to Illustrator. I'm going to open that photo. And so that's our layer that we're working on. And see this black square here? That's my artboard. My artboard isn't matched up to my photo. So to fix that, I'm going to go over to this icon here. It looks like a square with, I don't know, like a little points coming off each corner. Go to Artboard tool, and that'll allow us to adjust the artboard to the size of the photo. Okay, it should be good. I'm going to select my direct selection tool. Is that what it is? Selection tool, my regular selection tool. So I'll just choose that. So we'll lock this layer. We'll create a new layer. And again, I'm going to name this the inking layer in capital letters. And then you already know how to use the pen tool. So what we're going to do, just to lay this out beforehand, because at some point I'm going to time lapse this so that we can all just goes a lot faster. But so what we're going to do is we're going to use the pen tool to go in here, and we're not trying to be perfect. I mean, there is a style where you can be perfect and try to get every single detail in this photo, but we're not going to try to be perfect. We're just going to go in here and try to get the basic shapes so it looks more cartoony, kind of looking comic booky, whatever. So we're going to use our pen tool. We're going to go in here and we're going to lay out all this black. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not looking for perfect shapes. We're just looking for the basic shapes laid in here. And if you go outside the what is it called again? If you go outside the artboard, it doesn't matter, because when you turn this into a JPEG or whatever, it's going to cut that off anyway. So it's hard to see when you do a fill. Let's switch it back to a line, and we'll just we'll flip it when we're done, because it's hard to see what I'm doing when you have it as a fill. So as you can see, I'm just randomly filling this in here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And not being perfect also makes it quicker, so you can turn these out a little faster too. So especially with the pen tool, it seems like it's not the fastest way to do things, but the style's pretty cool though when you do it right. Okay, so I just outlined that. Let's flip it to a fill, and so we have that black laid in there. Also, if this picture layer seems a little too bright and in your face, you can always unlock it. I locked that layer, but to unlock it, just click this lock button. Go to that layer, and you can go to transparency and make that transparent like down to like 60. Did it actually do it? Oh no, I didn't select it. Hold on. Select it actually, and then go to transparency, make it 60, and it'll tone it down a little bit. Too transparent. Let's bring this back up a little bit. Yeah, almost. 80 will work. So we'll lock it back up again. But anyway, we're just going to go through. We're going to try to use our pen tool to select all these dark values, and then we will choose other values in here and bring them up with other colors. Now, I probably will cut back in when I start to do the coloring. With this artwork, I'm not planning on making the colors perfect or make it look like actual skin tones. I really don't care. We're just messing around with colors and design and just playing with it and having fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. She doesn't have to have like skin tone colors. I mean, you can do that, but that's not what I'm going for. Actually, I was looking through these color guides here, and I've never actually played with them. I've always just kind of picked my own colors, and I saw that there was, in art history here, there was Russian poster art, and I was looking at these different colors. So anyway, I was looking at these Russian poster art colors, and I was thinking that some of these might actually work for this design. I kind of like some of them, especially some of these, so I might try to bring those in. So it's up to you. You can go through these yourself and see if there's different colors that are harmonized together that you would like to use in your artwork. So I'm probably just going to play with some of these because I've never played with many of these color guides at all ever. So it might be interesting to play with and see what you can come up with. That might be a cool color scheme too. I mean, it doesn't match your face or hair color or anything, but who really cares? We're just having fun. So let's go ahead and just fill all this in with black with the pen tool, the lines and the main dark shapes, and then we will color it in after that. Then just remember that we will be coloring behind, and keep that in mind. But anyway, I'm going to speed this up, get through the black areas, and then we'll color it in after that, talk about that a little bit, and then we'll probably speed up to the end and see what the final artwork looks like. So follow along, have fun, and that's all this is for, is just to have fun. It doesn't matter if it's perfect or you're a great artist or not. Who cares? This is just for fun. We're just playing around and seeing what we come up with. Everybody's different. It's not a big deal. So anyway, follow along and let's have fun.
I have most of the blacks laid in. And I think what I'm going to do is create another layer that I think I'm going to name as like midtones. Maybe another one that I'm going to call highlights. And I was going to color this in with colors, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to like color pick, go in here and color pick like a gray. And I'm going to use the pen tool to, on the stroke, line out, like, for instance, let me draw, actually let me move this below the inking layer. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to draw out like some of these midtones, for instance. And once I have all the different grays laid out, I'm going to lay it out for the midtones and the highlights, and probably pick another gray tone somewhere in between. But I'm going to go in there, kind of lay all these in here real quick, and then I want to go back in and change them to a color, because I think that what I was initially going to do is I was going to start laying in colors and stuff, but then I started thinking about it and I was like, you know, what if I pick a color that I don't know if I really like? I'd like to be able to change it a lot faster. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So as you can see, if I turn the picture of her off, you can see that there's this gray outline. I think I'm going to come back and, you know, like select this gray outline, for instance. Oh, I got to unlock it. So now I can select this gray outline and I can flip it to gray. But if I don't want it gray, I can choose, let's say, this orange, and it'll fill it in with orange. And that way I can see how this color will relate to all the other colors I'm going to be laying in here. So I think that's how I'm going to go about this, and hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Just follow along in the time lapse here. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to start laying in all these different grays and then changing them to alternate colors. So follow along. I hope you like the rest of the video. I'm going to time lapse this and wait for the finished product at the end. And I hope this has helped you all out to make your own stuff or create whatever you want. So thanks for watching.
you.